on the street, online, we are number one. Thank you so much for staying with 95.1 Nigeria Info. Welcome to the marvelous Monday edition of Hard Facts. I hope the weekend was blissful, was restful. Oh, I hear someone say me that was in the queue all through the weekend. Sorry about that. I know, right? It's rough. But, in Abuja, we've been talking about the queues building up right from last Monday. I recall Selassie was the first person who, John the Baptist in the wilderness, his voice was loud. The queue is coming back. NNPC queue. And I remember Ambassador they called, he sent a message rather, I saw it on Twitter and said, is there a queue? He was ignorant of the fact that he started building. Then others started calling. And then by Wednesday, it was hitting home that indeed we're going to have a scarcity on our hands. By Friday, people were already queuing up for hours. I went to a business center today. About 12ish, and the guy came around and said he had been at the fuel queue to 7, around 10 minutes to 7, and that he finally got his fuel about the time he left there and came to the business center. So apparently 6 hours just queuing up to get petrol, and he's going to still buy it at, is it 670 or something? It's insane. It's really wrong on so many levels. But the story is that the price might go up. However, and everybody is keeping quiet, just assessing the situation until a formal statement is put out. But it's looking like that just might force the hand to pay a little more and the queue disappear. And I tell you, if they keep us on the queue for 3 weeks, we'll be forced to agree to the new reviewing price. But we'll see how it goes. According to reports, marketers are intending to sell at 702 naira or thereabout, and we'll see if the federal government can wade in to keep the price stable. They've managed to keep it at 617.20 or whatever for a bit. I remember effort has been made 2-3 times by independent marketers for it to go up, but the federal government gave assurances and stuck by it, and the price didn't go up. Well, let's see if it can happen again this time around, or we'll be forced to dig deeper into our purses, our pockets, to pay more for a litre of petrol in Nigeria. My name is Kimberly Wachko. Call me Kim the Oracle, the Digital Oracle, OTF the Fellow, Ochanya One, Madam Speaker, and I will say yes to them all. And I'm joined by Daniel. Daniel, how are you?
I'm fine, thank God.
Very typical Nigerian response with thank God. Well, yeah, what other choice do we have? It's just to thank God for everything. It's in all situations, even if you're queued up for 6-7 hours, just, give God all the glory. Yeah. All right, people, we'll start off looking at some of the big stories driving conversation in Nigeria and what's bigger than the fuel scarcity that is building up and spreading to other parts of the country. Yes, we'll get your 2 cents on that, and we'll be looking at this call for a state of emergency on the petroleum sector. NNPC saying, declaring emergency, and I was asking last week, what does it mean? I'll have a guest who will join me in the studio, very knowledgeable in that industry, worked there as a, before retirement. He's a comrade now. You know him from the Roundtable, but he will join us. Comrade Odafe Egbini will join me at the 5 o'clock hour for us to really interrogate what it means to declare a state of emergency in the petroleum sector in Nigeria. And we'll take your eyewitness report situation update as usual. Just to remind you that my leave starts on Wednesday. Yeah, I know why I'm saying it. I said mentioning it on Friday because there are people who are always shocked by it. Anytime any of us go on leave, they're like, oh, we didn't hear on air that you're going on leave. And it's like, I hope you're fine. Since after the Debbie's episode, we don't hear you on air 1 or 2 days. We start to panic. No. We still go on annual leave. And I will be going on my annual leave starting on the 10th of this month. I'll be back on air on the 31st of this month. All right? So it's a 3-week period. I'll be away for 21 days just to send it. At the end of the show, I will remind you again. Then I'll remind you tomorrow because by Wednesday you will not hear me here until I return. All right, so that is settled for now. Fuel scarcity looms. It's not a matter of looming, it is here. As Depo raised their petrol price to 720 naira per litre. It's gradually resurfacing in Lagos. It was here from last week, all through last week. We had queues in the federal capital, but it's building in Lagos. So headlines are awash, papers like looms. Like What happens when we've been groaning in Abuja? It was not looming before. This band thing is not even just about electricity. Apparently, there are certain states where things are happening, and then, well, Abuja is one of those anyways. So fuel scarcity is gradually surfacing in Lagos and other parts of the country as private depot owners hike the ex-depot price of petrol from 630 to 720 naira per litre. This came as fuel scarcity deepens in Abuja and the adjoining state on Sunday, with some filling stations dispensing PMS as high as 900 naira per litre. Wowza. According to the report, a number of filling stations in Lagos, Ogun, and other states have run out of stock as they refuse to buy high-priced petrol from the private depot. Some of the correspondents, those who spoke with the Punch correspondent, said the National Vice President of the Independent Marketers Association of Nigeria, Hamid Fashola, said many filling stations did not open for business because they had no fuel in their tank. And to buy from the private depots mean they have to pay more, and it means that you have to pay more at the end of the day. So are we going to get the federal government weighed in to assuage these fears that is growing in my belly right now, that we might have to be forced to pay more for a litre of PMS? Until we hear from the government, this is what it is. So if you're queuing up and you're finding that you have to pay more for it, just understand the situation at hand. It's pretty sad. I would love to get your feedback as to how much are you getting it here? How bad is the scarcity? I know it's almost like a lame question because I see the queues myself. I went to Total on Sunday after church. I was thinking like, all right, you know what? I might as well just go. There are lots of people who will just be chilling at home. For where? There's no rest for the weekend. Everybody was out. And like, if we will not rest on a Sunday, let some of us come and buy. The queues were crazy. For the ones who were selling, others were just shut down. Nothing was happening there at all. So, God, it's insane, really. So let me get your thought on it. Are you ready to pay more for a litre of petrol? Besides, the government will come out with a statement, and some vuvuzelas, spokespersons who would occupy media space in the near future will remind you that Nigeria sells one of the lowest on the continent. The last time somebody used that, he got into trouble in Kenya when the Kenyan president said, oh, you pay one of the lowest taxes in the continent. Young people, Gen Z, say, all right, we'll show you lowest. And they sure did. But we're different from Kenyans. We might not apply their strategy here because we've tried it before and it just didn't work. So maybe we need to re-strategize ourselves on what's best for Nigeria, but not the best of time to have to pay more for bills and utilities at this point in time, given the fact that pay have not been reviewed upward for a lot of people. And you've had to pay more for electricity, you've had to pay more for petrol, you have to pay more for rent, you have to pay more for food. Food inflation is so high that a lot of people are struggling to just get their, basic nutrients in at this point in time. I don't want to speak for the government with their, robust response to the situation at hand and see how they would, douse the fear that is building already. All right. Talking about building, Mr. President has been re-elected again as the ECOWAS chairman. Apparently, he put up a good performance the first instance. All of those threats to Niger Republic would send soldiers, boots on ground.
More news
and how it was resolved eventually. He's been re-elected as ECOWAS chairman. We'll take a bit of that detail after this break.
Abuja! Introducing the first of its kind in
Hello, my name is Kimberly. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.
Audio Jungle.
it back as how you're coping with the situation, and are you ready to spend an extra 100 naira? The big one has a story, a personal one, story that touched.
Story.
Yes, story.
Once upon a time.
time,
I
time.
went to Kaduna over the weekend.
Oh boy.
Kaduna.
Is that queue there?
There was
also?
no petrol station open.
Open. Oh boy.
None. In Kaduna town. None.
That's gangster, man.
Yes. On my way back at Goningora was where I now saw one that was open.
And the queue.
Queue? No queue.
Oh.
They're selling at 800 naira per litre.
Whoa, black market with your full chest.
No queue. 800. And I asked, I said, why is there no petrol in Kaduna? They said the petrol stations can't afford to buy petrol.
Yeah, because from the private airport, they're saying they can't sell at the open.
720. Yeah, 720 is what, according to this morning, that was the price at the depots that I saw, depots or whatever you call them. So yeah, that's the situation on ground. So if you're seeing people queuing for fuel, it's not because, I know I heard the story about, it's the rains that have stopped, but the depots
That was
now,
the initial excuse
yes,
they
the
gave.
depots now are selling at 720 naira per litre.
I didn't fall for that. It was the rain and the flood story. I just knew there was a smoke screen. They were just trying to...
That doesn't. I remember I saw a story about an APC chieftain saying to Mr. President, hunger is going to become a security situation in this country. And I don't know if the government is feeling the pulse of the people right now.
Well, the president claims he is. He says, I feel your pain. I know what you're going through.
Right.
Baby steps of
When
suffering.
was the last time you said this thing again?
I think it was on Democracy Day.
That was on the 27th of May. Okay. This is...
June 12th.
Oh, June 12th, sorry. I keep thinking of 29th of May. Mr. President, between then and now, it has escalated, sir.
Yeah.
And it will escalate tomorrow and the day after and the day after that. It's getting worse by the day.
It's not, and
we're not saying this because, we're just trying to metaphorically, alarm you. It is literally getting worse by the day.
I mean, if you look at the tons of messages that came, like, speak with the government, it's unbearable, the difficulty. People on Ban A already, in some state, they had reviewed what they're paying as high as
they've
it
increased
is.
it.
They've reviewed it upwards. The price of food, let's not even talk about how it continues to increase per second.
I know we tried to buy beans yesterday. It was like 3.5 for a mudu of beans. Up from 2.9, up from 2.5, up from 1.9.
I remember when it was 2,000 and I was lamenting.
Less than a month
2.5.
ago. It was 2.5.
That's the scary part, because in 4 weeks the price jump. It feels like every weekend it goes up.
Mr. President, sir, the people are not finding it funny, sir. I have to speak as a Nigerian. I know all the you are all listening to. Yes, I know. Even you, who is a regulatory body, you are also feeling the pain.
Oh yeah.
You are also feeling the pain, and the truth needs to be said. The people are not happy. They are not happy. We talked about floating the naira. Not just the naira is floating, everything is floating.
Yeah,
prices are flying.
I remember when the CBN president was saying, they're impressed at how the naira stabilized then at 1,492. We know it continues to yo-yo to 1,500. But then if you look at the strength, the naira itself is very weak within Nigeria. We're not even talking how it exchanges to the dollar. We're saying even to get basic things that
the purchasing
is
power
obtainable.
of the naira is almost dead.
Yeah.
Mr. President, sir, I don't know what people are telling you there, sir, but I hope you get to hear this maybe on the radio while you're in your car. Help your people. They are crying. Nigerians are crying. Nigerians are crying. I'm just going to leave it there.
Well, it is what it is, and the comments, re-echoes what you've just said already. Indeed, people are going through a lot. So yeah, I did mention before the break that the president has been re-elected the second time as the chairman of the Economic Community of West African State. I wonder what that means for the sub-region, the ECOWAS sub-region, and what it means for Nigeria. the president as ECOWAS chairman.
Oh,
They re-elected him
how does that affect the
on
price of
Tuesday.
currency?
During the 65th ordinary session of ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government held at Presidential Villa in Abuja, he was first elected July 2023 at the 63rd ordinary session of ECOWAS, blah, blah, blah. And he's the 8th Nigerian leader to be elected chairman of ECOWAS. Former President Buhari held the bloc twice as military head of state and then a democratic president. And then, well, given the fact that countries like Burkina Faso, Niger Republic, and what's the other one that military have taken
Mali.
over, saying they don't want to be a part of the bloc, I wonder how to read on his account to say, under your watch, you lost 3 member states.
Again, how does that affect us as Nigerians?
I know. But it was affecting us now when they said we were going to send soldiers to Niger Republic.
That would have been one of the most, I think for me, that would have been one of the things that would have just literally made a lot of people lose hope. Like, are you serious? Are you trying to solve somebody else's problem when we have issues here?
Yeah, we just didn't even have the resources to
We didn't have the
spend on
resources.
something
We
else.
didn't have the resources to meet minimum wage. You want to send people outside to go and fight? Fight who? Do you get?
Funny enough, in their country, they're appreciative that the military took over in their country, Niger Republic.
For crying out loud.
But it's just trying to say, see, you people must have democracy in the way that democracy is meant to be for them.
We are hungry.
So because you managed to price beans this weekend now, you don't provoke.
I just want to say that the dream I had been having for the past 2 weeks, I finally fulfilled it.
Which is?
I ate yam and egg sauce twice.
Wow. Bourgeoisie.
Can I get an amen?
Bourgeois.
Thank you very much.
People who are living the dream.
Yam and fried egg sauce. I've achieved for the year. I can wrap up my year, honestly.
Yam is painfully expensive. Egg has gone up. Like, I don't know. I hear that the feed for the chicken has gone off the roof. So
Yeah.
they are
Everything
laying
is
the
expensive.
golden egg
Everything.
right now.
Even to pay attention now is expensive.
I know, right?
Like
Short-term memory loss, just the disconnect, just the glitch.
Straight. Just doing like Nigerian network. Just off, on, off, on. See, it is well.
Oh, well. The 3-state rule while the military junta fell out with the West African regional bloc following the various coup d'etat. ECOWAS imposed sanctions, including border closure, a halt of the export of electricity power to Niger against the junta-led countries as part of effort to reverse the coup in the country. The sanctions were, however, lifted in February. A few days later, the countries pulled out of ECOWAS. So addressing members of the bloc before re-elected as chairman, Tinubu said ECOWAS head of state need political will to wipe out terrorism in their country. All right, sir. We'll see how that political will translate to wiping out terrorism in your country, Mr. President, because we seem like to be the
speech it. Speech it that you just said.
in the entire region. We are the
Well,
capital of it.
We're ahead of everything now.
Yeah.
We're ahead of everything.
Perhaps it would have been best to say, this is what we're doing in Nigeria that you can learn from us. But you're speaking as if it's other people's problem, like you're not the one who generated it.
Charity begins at home, sir.
I know, right?
Charity begins at home. We've become the laughing stock of Africa, in case you don't know. We have
Who is
become the
laughing
laughing
at us?
stock. You do? Okay. So typically we banter with Ghana, right? The recent banter was with Kenya. Oh, they took us to the cleaners.
No, we shouldn't be bantering with Kenyans at
They
this point in
took
time
us-
because they're
we-
doing something that we should just leave them. They are angry.
They clean. Oh my
They
God!
are angry
People
right
wanted to
now.
come up out when the Kenyans began with us. We calmed down. Like, now go front. No problem.
It would be silly to engage
don't
Kenyans
try
on
it.
anything now.
Don't
Even
try
their
it.
president know that they are
Don't try
really
it.
miffed.
Don't try it. I mean, did you see what happened? Like, he literally has cut off funding to the office of the first lady.
Yeah.
I was like,
He called down office of the first lady, wife of governors, and setting relevant, reduce
slash the
significantly.
prices of governance. I'm like,
But that's what the people were saying. Like, you want to increase taxes, yes, you want to be largessing and enjoying all of this benefit. Some of them that are not even constitutionally provided for. Doesn't make sense.
Makes absolutely no sense. Honestly, makes absolutely no sense.
Well, let's get to hear your take on some of the stories we've looked at. 0700 951 0000. Hello.
Hello, Kimberly.
Yes, you're welcome.
Bakar calling from Babula. You are Jacqueline again?
I'm not jackbarring. I will be back on the 31st.
Where are you going? Foreign tourism?
I will let you know one-on-one.
Don't ask your guest rightly. It has become emergency. People cannot even don't know what is happening the next moment. Don't even tomorrow any longer. Shares are everywhere. Kimberly. It's an emergency. You know what happened? You know of what happened in Bangladesh. They started selective palliative sharing when hungry more gather. They want to. It was almost escalated into looting before it was averted by security agencies. So explosion, social disorder, if nothing, position of leadership does not take action. Though we are not on the same state with Kenya. We know the historical background of Kenya, people on Mau. They fought violently for their independence. But our own states are ruling elite fought for our independence. So we are apart. But we don't know, maybe hunger and abject poverty will engineer the hungry Nigerians. We don't know. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Let's hear this caller. Hello.
Are you serious?
Welcome to the show.
To my brother Abubakar. This is Dabang Bushi.
Welcome, Elder.
Kim, Alpha now.
I do all right.
So I hope they have prepared the sacrifice for the gods. If you leave, so that hungry don't go kill them before you come back. You have to make their sacrifice available.
Don't worry, they are in good hands. Elder. Call has dropped. Exactly. Hello? You who? Anybody home?
Hey, I'm home. My name is Terry.
All right, well, welcome. Go ahead.
Maybe Elder have got to consult the oracle. You should come back. Elder, they're waiting for your call. This oracle, maybe they need red oil and cola nut and so alligator pepper.
Oh,
boy. Put it in your pocket. So listen to you. I want to sincerely greet our guest. To sincere, have been on queue for over 6 to 7 hours now.
Whoa.
I haven't even seen filling station. I'm on this zone 1. I started following this queue around that hotel where they're near zone 7. I don't want to advertise the hotel. Near that zone 7, that is where I start following the queue. And as I'm speaking to you, I'm beside this AP filling station, zone 1. I haven't even get straight even filling station. That is the situation we are facing. A country that have 4 refineries, a country that have president as the minister of petroleum, and he have 2 extra ministers. And just imagine what your colleague is saying. In Kaduna, he bought fuel at the rate of 800 naira per liter at filling station. Here in the black market, they are talking about 50,000 naira. How many people can afford that? We don't want to buy this fuel at this high price. So this is what Abubakar said. It's like hunger will unite the masses together. That time there won't be Muslim, there won't be Christian, there won't be ADF, PDPC. So that time everyone will know. Because as it's biting high, and I don't even know. I tell my wife that I may not come back home. I clean my water and everything that I can process. If I haven't not taken the book today, I'm not going home until I get this one. If you warrant me to sleep on the queue, I will do that. This is the country that have all the details. Kenya president at that man. When the people professor, he listened to them, he revoked the subsidy. Why he bring this tax? Now, do you know that the Kenyan president has meeting with the youth on X handle? He was in kind of discussing, chatting with them. They're asking him, this is how we want it to be, how we want this to go. And they were he was in kind of responding to them. Our leader doesn't have anything. They doesn't listen to us. The only thing, if I abuse their land, they know where I am, that they can use their GPS.
You don't need to abuse.
Use everybody, please.
They can't even get the where they are. But they can ask me if I say something against them to arrest me. But they can't get the terrorists that have been stopping people from Kaduna to go to their farm. You have to pay money in order to harvest or to go to farm.
All right, Salasi. All right. Thank you very much.
Selassie is upset,
Yeah.
and you have every right to.
No,
be
if you've
upset
been
as a
queued up
Nigerian.
from 7 a.m.
Oh, no,
and
trust me. Let me say this thing out in public. I went to go and MC a wedding. The person happened to be a minister. I finished from there and I did 7 hours on the queue.
Oh boy.
Yes. So I posted as a status on that. I was like, is it not funny? I saw the person who is in charge of this thing. I look at what I'm going through right now. I mean,
Wow.
I know how the place was. There was largesse. You get it? But yeah, no. It is what it is. Selassie has every right to be upset.
Oh,
Every right to be upset.
I am upset. I'm just keeping it cool.
Yeah, because talking about
Because I'm going to buy black market on my way out. You think I can pull off 7 hours?
Sorry.
Even at 45 minutes, I start to lose my hair.
Exactly. I mean, this thing he said about the president of Kenya having a conversation with the youth of Kenya.
Yeah, we talked about on Friday when we were
Yes,
around.
it was, for me, it was a very, very, very sensible move to make. To let the people feel like, yes, I am feeling your pulse. I'm not just telling you that I know.
He wasn't
I am
just. He knew the
talking to you.
demographic that were really upset.
Exactly.
The Gen Zs. He said, look,
Exactly.
I know you where you are. Let's organize spaces.
Let's
Let's
talk.
Without middleman, one
It
on
is
one.
sad. Right now, I'm getting to that point where I'm like, you know what? All die and I die. Do you understand? Because at the end of the day, your essays and your guys around you who keep, feeding you stories.
They might shield you from the reality
Are they
of
shielding
things.
you from the reality, sir? Or are they telling you the truth? Have you by yourself actually felt the pulse of the people? Because is high BP now is getting to that point of point break, like boom. Are they shielding you from the truth of what is going on ground? Are they feeding you political rhetoric, or are they telling you the truth? Because posterity will speak, sir, if you don't make something happen soon enough. History will speak against you if you do not solve the problems of the country ASAP. Because it is one thing for you to say, oh, I just need you to calm down. What we have put on ground, things will happen. You have your guys around. I don't want to use the word that is coming to my head saying, if anybody wants to speak against the president, we would rather die. Sir, we're not speaking against you. We're telling you the truth on ground. You need to know the truth. The truth is hard.
Yeah.
The truth is hurtful. But if you're going to work on the truth, posterity will speak for you. Nigerians are not happy.
Yeah.
Nigerians are. There's some dude who posted on Twitter, or X rather, a couple of weeks ago when people were crying out, and he was like, "Oh my God, Nigeria Info is becoming a platform for Kiniko. No, Nigerians are telling you how they feel. That is what it is.
If you go by that one, the big one, we've been 12 years doing this. For every government that comes, there are a new crowd of people who want to speak
that
and
kind
put
of
up a
person, you
defense
actually
for the
look for him and
government.
bite him. You just bite that. You just bite and say, come on, will you behave yourself? Do you understand? But this is what it is on ground. I wish Mr. President was listening for him to know that the people are not happy.
Indeed. Well, let's hear more from the people. Hello.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir.
Auntie Swat, Akim, sorry.
It's all good.
How today at work?
Work is fine.
This Barnabas calling from Niger.
All right, Barnabas from Niger, welcome.
This, as your guest has spoken, Moody of this 3,000 and above. In fact, the worst aspect of it is today, the normal common man food, which is called noodle. The other one they call spaghetti. Formerly it was 150 to 300 to 600. As I'm talking to you now, it's 1,000 naira. Even in the village where we are. So that is what we are going through. Our prayer is that God will see us through. God will see us through. Because these people that is ruling us, they are not really eating us, but they are ruling us. God will preserve us from their hands. Because I believe they want us to die so that they will begin to go on grasses. But God is greater than them. God Almighty is greater than them. God Almighty is greater than them.
All right.
God is the owner of this country. He will save our life. We will survive. We will continue to provide for us.
All right,
Thank
sir.
you, ma.
Thank you very, very much. NMPC is still pushing out. That's the statement they've put out, that the flood is responsible for the queues that we're experiencing. The independent marketers are telling us their own side of the story. I say, and flood nothing. The private depots are selling at 720 and means that the price will have to spike, would have to go up. And I wonder why we're not getting consistency in setting narrative. Half the time, more than half the time, when it comes to scarcity, you never really get a true picture from NNPC as to what is responsible for it.
I mean,
until they are forced to respond to whatever is put out there.
What we thought was going to be the respite that Nigeria will get from all of this craziness. Dangote refinery is also complaining about the fact that they're making things difficult for him as well. So what exactly is it?
And now that he's putting all of these subtle lamentations out, there's no guarantee that anything is going to be alleviated in July. Okay, we're already in July. He says this month, Abi.
This is the 8th of July,
This
is if 2024 was a human being, by now it is already a mother with 2 children. This is July. July is almost done. See, blink twice, you'll be in August.
I know, right?
It is what it is. Blink twice, you're already in August.
I know. Banky on YouTube. Yeah, we're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. If you want to see my guest, Mr. Biggie.
I'm looking handsome there.
I know, right? Zaddy.
I didn't know I was this fine. My Lord.
You can go check him out. It's on YouTube at Nigeria Info Abuja and on Facebook at Nigeria Info Abuja. Banky says, I'm green, white, green like Kim. May the suffering be ameliorated. Amen. Nobo Okpokiri says, the reappointment of Tinubu as ECOWAS president is of benefit for us. It doesn't change anything. Lubem Kev says, I'm not going to blame anyone for the hardship of the country. The world is going through God's word. We'll miss you when you go on leave. I'll miss you too. Gabriel Ide says, watching you live from Oka, Anambra State, we have been buying fuel here at 750 per litre.
Long time.
The thing is, with the Southeast, they operate a different ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly. Let's call it spade a spade. The Southeast has a different economy, a different government.
You never even hear all of this for Q thing because as soon as they come up, they don't already day up.
They have covered everything. I mean, when petrol was like 149, they already said at 210.
Yeah.
See, my Southeast brothers. Those ones, they're always 10 steps ahead. See, forget it. Anybody that wants to say any the Southeast is always 10 steps. They are already economic powers.
I tell you, they just operate differently there. Otumba Adewu Olusegun says government officials keep telling us false stories, lying to the citizens. Yeah, I mean, if they tell you flood where? Is it Kogi flood or Lagos flood that is responsible for it and that has dragged on for a week for us here in the federal capital is already building for Lagos when the private people are telling you this is what is responsible for it? Definitely someone isn't telling the truth to Nigerians.
Exactly. And I think Nigerians deserve to hear the truth always. See, I'm going to say this to anybody who cares to hear, right? The existence of Nigeria is more important than your image. The existence of Nigeria, the peace of Nigeria, the unity of Nigeria, the oneness of Nigeria, the whatever it is, the goodness of Nigeria is way more important than the perception of your administration or your personality or your public what's that word now? Your public how the public perceives you. You always want to look good, but the public is seeing that what you claim to be is not what is. You become enemy number one to the public. If it doesn't rhyme with their reality, the public doesn't want to hear big English. You're bringing stats, you're bringing numbers. How does it interpret to the price of Gary going down in the market? That is the truth of the whole matter. If you're trying to launder your image and we are not seeing
if the people in the country are not buying it,
it's not working. It's not. Let's go to America, for example. We've heard so many times how Joe Biden is the best thing after sliced bread. It took one debate, and all of a sudden, even members of his party are like, "Hello, Baba Iko, it's not our shift him." As Daddy came out and said, "I'm doing it again."
He says only God can convince him not to.
Do you get? So. For as long as it is not rhyming with what is on ground, people are always going to be suspicious about you. People are always going to be angry at you. It is only normal human behavior. If it doesn't, again, political rhetoric. Okay.
And you know what? The economy does not respond to rhetorics. The price of food in the market, inflation does not respond to these rhetorics. You just have to put in the work.
Does not.
Chimeze Christian Daniel says Tinubu should be listening to Nigeria Info so he gets to know how terrible Nigerians are going through right now. Here, live testimony filled with agony from ordinary people. Sad that we know how to tolerate suffering in the country, not until we unite, do away with religion and tribalism to kick against our common enemy. Then we ain't ready to have a country yet. Simon Collins, Which Way Nigeria, we see you. Let's look at more comments quickly. I don't tire for Nigeria matter. I beg, I won't follow you to go Tanzania.
You're going to Tanzania?
I don't know where Tanzania came from. They've been trying to know. First of all, I said it was traditional, but everybody's just trying to understand what I'm taking 3 weeks for.
Because me, if you take me along, I will go.
You'll be excess luggage.
No problem. I will pay for my luggage.
Cash money from Google. I said, I don't die for Nigeria. I won't follow you. Go enjoy octopus coconut curry. I went there some time back.
Octopus
You've not tried.
curry.
You know, they have Indian influence in their cooking. So
Where?
Tanzania, Kenya, they do have the same.
Take me now.
But I'm not going there.
BC I've eaten is Titus fish.
You've not tried octopus?
No.
I tried octopus there, and
Is it sweet?
it was octopusy.
Wow. Wow.
No, the first day I just knew it was octopus. Then subsequently, next time I went out, I tried it. Like, all right, start to feel a bit shaky-ish. Like roundabout then. All right, greetings to Kim, greetings to our guest. Yesterday I queued from 7 to about 12:30 at NNPC filling station Jai by Kubwa Express. I did first, second and third service on the queue.
Come on now.
It's tough being a Nigerian. Sally from Kubwa. I mean, we've not really had this conversation, what it means to be a Nigerian. You have to be built different. Like your shock absorber, you need to do work. Like 45. I just feel like that's why Nigerians can survive anything and anywhere.
Sometimes it feels like you're going through emotional trauma 24/7. 24/7. Emotional trauma. Because
no license.
Yes, you constantly survive. Did you know you had an exception except the fact that somebody said, oh, did you know you can flush your toilets in a bucket? We were laughing about
And it was very funny to
It was
me.
funny to us because we're like, normal thing.
Yes, no.
But it's not normal. It is not normal. People have my uncle came with his child because he moved to Canada many years ago. I'm talking about some 15, 20 years ago. He came into the country. That was the first time he was being a childhood at the time to the country. And we all got family house. And, you know, I took my video game there so that children can play and enjoy themselves and everything. And whilst they were playing, those of us who were the older ones were outside. And the next thing, we hear his child screaming. And we're wondering, Biafra, what's going on? He runs out and he's like, Daddy, the circuit is fried. We now look like, what does he mean by that? The father now started laughing. At the time, NEPA took light.
So he thought
that the world was coming to an end. Circuit is fried. Daddy, help. Daddy, help. To us, it's normal. And then we'll bring him back. And I'm talking about something that happened in 2004. 20 years later, we still not solved that problem of constant electricity.
if we haven't even worsened.
It has worsened.
Exactly.
Because in a year, you're having your grid crash like...
So the frequency of this grid crashing is now suspect.
Like, bro, you begin to wonder, is there somebody who is actually sabotaging this thing so that the sales of generators can continue?
I feel like there's a whole
inverters
lot.
or something.
Somebody might just be having mood swing and say,
Off am.
we'll just crash this thing.
No, they never do subscription. Hey, they don't. Off am.
Guy waiting they have anything interesting in the news, they say nothing they share.
Nothing, off am.
Grid.
Grid, spoil am. It feels that way all of a sudden. It feels that way. I mean, there was a period when
Let's
we
go
began to think...
go on a quick break.
August 12 in Lagos. Witness the brightest minds from across the country in a battle of intellect and eloquence.
This is Nigeria Info.